I'm searching for my birth parents.
I'm searching for my biological family on both my maternal and my paternal side.
I'm in need of a search angel to help me find my bio parents.
A search angel is commonly defined as someone who has a set of skills that allows them to help people find their birth parents or their birth family. Those skills can include extensive knowledge of genealogy, understanding of how DNA works, and it helps them locate, find, and learn about their birth families. All right. So I want to tell you about this new case we got. Her name's Emily. She's in Florida. I'll read the email. Hello, I'm Emily. I was a closed adoption 18 years ago in Florida.
I have always had so many questions. I feel like I don't know anything about myself, who I am as a person. I am only 18, but my birth father would already be 43. I understand that they could deny, although I would love to try and reach out to let them know that I made it this far. After I was adopted, my parents found out that I had 3 holes in my heart. Luckily, they could afford the surgery. Adoption not only saved my life, but helped me have so many opportunities. When I turned 16, I got to see photos of them and a necklace my birth father had given my parents to give me when I got older. I'm afraid of waiting too late to tell them thank you and having life take its course. Hopefully you can help. It would mean the world to me. Sincerely, Emily.
I'm wondering about that necklace. I'm like, could you pull a DNA test off the necklace? It's probably a little too old, and if she's been wearing it, you probably couldn't. But
probably her DNA.
Yeah, probably just Emily's DNA. But you know, this birth father is 43, which puts him right at about our age.
Yeah, it's great that she has all this information. You know, I'm sure a lot of this is true, but it could not be. There could be bits and pieces that are skewed or wrong. And of course, I will lead with these being in the forefront of my mind and know that this is what I'm looking for, but always in the back of my mind, understanding that it may not turn out this way. And so DNA is critical.
Yeah. One thing I love about DNA is it blows up all secrets.
It does.
You can't, the DNA.
It should come with a warning label.
Yeah, it does.
It is Pandora's box.
Yes, it is Pandora's box. I really wonder, how supportive her adopted parents are.
There's so many emotions that are tied into this. Of course, they want their daughter to have an understanding of where she comes from. Most adoptees are not coming to you at 18, so I really hope that her parents are supportive of this, and I wouldn't think she would be in possession of so much information if they weren't.
If they've given her the pictures and the necklace, it feels like they would be supportive of the search. So.
I agree. It's a huge process, emotionally, huge. You're unpacking generational baggage.
Well, I always like to create some space for everybody to feel what they need to feel and work through it, especially at these beginning stages when there's just so much uncertainty.
And hopefully these details will fall in line with what the DNA says, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited to do this. I just turned 18 last May, and I have finally come to the conclusion I am ready to start my journey to find my birth parents. I want to let them know that I made it this far. I made it to 18. I graduated high school. I'm enrolled in college now. I made a bunch of films. I just want to let them know that their hardest choice truly did bring me such an amazing life. I want to show them that I've made it.
The next question from them is going to be, how long is this going to take? It could be years. It could just be an open case until we get more details. So I anticipate that question of how long do you think it will take? So the more we know about what they know and are able to pull the pieces together, and the big piece is the DNA.
DNA changes everything because it doesn't lie. At the end of the day, it's the only consistent thing that you have. And I've had many tests that have been done in independent labs. I have never seen DNA be wrong.
We sent her a DNA kit with Ancestry DNA. Best place to start. They've got the largest database of people who've been tested. I think it's almost 15 million people who've been tested. We got the pictures of birth mom and birth father.
Looks like they both wrote a little note. Hey, I'm your birth mom. I'm the one on the right with the shorter hair. I'm adopted too. Never got to see my birth mother. I thought you might want to see yours. Love, Bethany. Okay, Bethany, adopted too.
Adopted too.
Oof. That just adds a whole nother layer to into this situation. I'm gonna have to essentially find Bethany's biological family and see if they've found her and try to trace that, see if we can locate Bethany. So it's a twofer.
Yeah, that's good. We've got her name, we know what she looks like, and at least we know she's adopted.
Yes, exactly.
Going into it, because that definitely changes our approach. Looking at birth father's picture, I just want you to know giving you away was the hardest thing I've ever done, and not one day will pass when I won't love, miss, and think of you. Love always and forever. And he's got his initials DK. He put PS, the cross is special to me. I hope it brings you luck, happiness, and love. DK. We've got a visual. We know what he looks like. We've got his initials.
Awesome.
This is a good place to start.
You know, you can send emails back and forth, and it's all in your head for the most part, but when that DNA kit shows up, it's happening. The next step is that you're gonna have answers right around the corner. My birth father left his initials because I thought you would only do that maybe if you wanted me to find you, like by leaving a piece of evidence, because most birth parents, their name's marked off, so there's no way to find anything. But the fact he left that, it was like a clue that was digging at my heart.
It's great to see these matches popping up.
This first one is promising. 940 centimorgan, that's the important information there, how many strands of DNA they're sharing.
So I like to think about it as a pebble. If you dropped a pebble in the water, there are bigger waves, and then as it goes out, there's smaller waves. So centimorgans are similar in that the closer people are to you, the higher those waves are, the higher the number is. So your parents and your siblings will share with you more centimorgans or have a higher centimorgan number than your first cousins, second cousins, more distant relatives. 940 centimorgans, which is about 13% shared DNA. That's a really good first match to have.
She's got a picture, name's Nicole. Looks like from Nicole's profile that she's in her 30s. Bethany would be in her early 40s. They could be sisters, and we could be looking at a biological aunt here. The thing that you can hope for, and what I'm seeing on Nicole's side, is they're only sisters. So Nicole having a DK relationship is maybe unlikely because all of her half-siblings are listed here and there's nobody with the initials DK. So I think we're looking at birth mom's side.
Almost use the process of elimination more than you do like of confirmation. Like, how can I eliminate this person? What detail would eliminate them from being the birth parent or, you know, related?
And also we know from Emily that birth mom is from Illinois. This family is from Illinois. So I'm thinking that this is a connection to Bethany. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and send Nicole a message. So I'm just letting her know that I'm a genealogist working with her match M, and that she's a first cousin, biological mother. Bethany was adopted. We know she came from Illinois, and we're searching for her. I was wondering if your family had found her. She should be a sibling to one of your parents. Thanks, Megan.
And this is what I love about this work is it can go so slow for so long, and then you get a little detail or connection, and it just goes into, you know, warp speed. So this is great.
We got a message back from Nicole. Hi, I'm so happy to help. I would love to meet new family. I know my mother gave away a child on 7/25/78. Whew.
Wow.
I thought her name was Deborah Marie with a father. Please let me know how I can help.
I think I just got chills, right?
Yeah.
Because birth mom would be 41, so that
Born
would...
in 1978. I'm gonna write her back. Your mom had a baby girl in 78. Could that be Bethany? That would make sense. 41 years old, Illinois. Everything's lining up there.
That's great. Even if she's adopted, you know, this may not lead us to where Bethany's at right now, but now with the DNA, we can sort and say all these matches are on the birth mother's side, and we can start working on the birth father's side.
She said, I really want to talk. So,
Right.
Aunt Nicole.
Aunt Nicole. Hey, Megan.
Hey.
I know Megan was working on your case pretty late, so.
Oh my gosh. I'm so ready to hear things. I'm scared.
So, I just got off the phone with your Aunt Nicole. She's Bethany's sister.
What?
She's looking for Bethany, and now I have Bethany's date of birth. And I found 6 possible matches that are your biological mother. So after we get off the phone today, I am going to be calling Bethany's.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wait, hold on. Whoa, whoa. She has a sister.
So she's basically your half aunt.
That's crazy.
Nicole asked me to give you her phone number, and she would really love it if you would want to talk to her.
Oh my gosh. I feel so honored.
And she's really excited that we're looking for Bethany because she really wants to find her sister.
Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. Oh my gosh.
I'm nervous, I'm scared, I don't want to mess this up. And apparently I found out she was just as nervous, which was so funny, but once we got to talking, it came natural. It was all excitement and calling and talking to her, hearing her voice. It felt like home.
And congratulations, you've got a half aunt. You need to let the emotions process so you can move on to the next step. So to see her excitement was kind of everything we would hope for her. I think where my heart is right now with Emily is she's probably gonna feeling some of the biggest emotions she's ever felt in her life. So we kind of have to walk through that entire spectrum and say, are you ready to accept, whatever we find and whatever the result is.
Bethany was born the same year that we are essentially, and I really can't help but feel mothering to her. And so it's the same thing, cheering her on and excited for her, but then at the same time I feel she's a kid.
Still forming who she is.
Absolutely, yeah.
A lot of people, especially adoptees who don't know their birth parents, they've had years and sometimes even decades to fantasize or think about or imagine what their birth parents and birth family are like. And you've got to reconcile that when we start putting the pieces together and finding those people. And it can be extremely difficult where they've got to kind of recalculate everything they've thought and felt and imagined over the years to what the reality is.
Well, and now what they're projecting. Because projection can be as dangerous as anything else. Is now we're in this space and projecting what the future is going to happen, projecting this wonderful, happy reunion like is so often portrayed, but it doesn't always happen that way. We have Nicole now. Hopefully Bethany's on the rise, and same thing with DK, and it's just, you're in that role. So sometimes you kind of have to stop, but it's hard once you get going. Everything kind of starts to unfold in front of you, and you just have to follow the trail while it's hot.
Yeah.
I have another gentleman that he calls me his hero, and those are the messages. Good morning, hero. Here's a new picture of me in Bio Mom. Hope you're doing well. Can never thank you enough. Those are the things that you've impacted somebody's life so dramatically, and they feel like they can never thank you, even though I genuinely know when they say thank you that they mean it, and that's just all I need. But you just never want to stop helping people feel that way, because it just does something for your soul. We have a photo of Bethany, and so I've pretty much located almost everyone on this list. None of them are her, so I'm actually shifting gears and looking at DK. He's got a close match named Mary. I'm really assuming that this line with Mary is DK's mother's side of the family, and that's why we're not seeing any of the K initials, is because whoever she married, whoever DK's father is gonna have that.
I can see where this is just a little bit challenging. At least we're able to separate, and we can with good confidence say we know who's on birth mother's side, we know who's on birth father's side, so that's at least a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Now it's a process of elimination.
Well, and Mary is the only one that really has enough DNA to establish paternity. She's at 655. The next match appears to be on another leg of the paternal side, not related to Mary, and they're at 366. That's just not enough DNA to establish paternity in my book. So she's really kind of the last bet here, hoping that maybe she'll be willing to talk.
I always told myself never to get too attached, never to let myself fully in, because if worse comes to worse, maybe they wouldn't want me in their life, and I have to accept that and respect and understand that maybe that's how things work out.
So, good news.
All right.
I was able to speak with Mary. She's elderly, in her 80s, wanted to chat on the phone. She was really sweet, didn't really know how much she could help, but I let her know that we were looking for a man about 45, red hair, initials DK, that we had a photograph of him that he had left. And she said, well, I think my cousin Shirley has some redheads. So I came back on Ancestry and found her uncle. I found his obituary, and Shirley's last name starts with a K. Ran a background check. Shirley is here. She has a son named David. And his wife is very active on social media. There are tons of photographs on here.
That's him.
One look at him and you know that it's him. Hair's shorter, but there he is. It appears there are 5 younger children. So Emily's got 5 siblings. That, being an only child, that might blow her mind a little bit.
Wow.
But he's on the East Coast. He was in Florida.
David is DK, so let's tell Emily.
I'm really excited to tell her. She's gonna be so overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed looking at all of these photos. It's just, I don't know. There's something about David that I feel.
Things are falling into place, and we knew that if we could connect with birth father, that he's going to be the key to finding birth mother as well.
The whole energy around Emily's case is just different. And you automatically feel this connection with these people that you don't know, you're not related to walk that path with her step by step by step. And you just couldn't help but love her and support her as you were going through it. That's when we all really kind of got drawn in. Oh, I am so excited. I wish that he would answer me.
Yeah. So did you get like a voicemail, like you could hear it, or was it?
Yeah, I left a voicemail. He's living in Virginia, but this is a Maryland number, and that's where he's from. And so it's an iPhone, so I just text him the picture that we have, and I said, I am looking for this man, specifically this one in the picture. If it's you, I would love to talk to you.
Oh, hey.
Oh no, I'm scared.
Don't be scared.
The moment I saw their call, I was like, there's something out there they found.
I found David.
No way. You found him?
I found him.
Oh my God. Oh boy. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Do you want to see him?
I would love to see him. Oh my gosh. That's him.
That's him. This is his wife, and there he is.
And there's more.
They have kids? I have siblings. This is so much. Oh my gosh. I am so shocked.
They were on a walk like an hour ago, so I'm hoping that he's gotten my message. I left him a voicemail.
I didn't know what was next. I was more worried of how do we reach out to him? Will he respond was the next big thing of, okay, we found him, but this is that big scary wall of will he respond and will he want to communicate with me?
But the best part about this is hopefully once he, if we get a hold of him, then he can tell us what Bethany's last name was, and then we'll have them both.
This is insane.
He just responded to me. He said, "It's me. It's me. Is she okay?" He's texting back again. He asked if you know about your mom.
I do. Wait, what does he mean about my mom? I'm scared. What is that?
He asked if you knew about her, and I just told him, I said Bethany, and he said yes, and I said that's about all we know. I found her bio family. Bethany's gone.
What?
She's passed away. She's dead. She got hit by a car. I'm sorry.
Damn, I'll never be able to thank her.
Was not long after you were born.
No.
A few years after the adoption. He said, "This is a lot." Bethany kind of never recovered from giving her up. It was literally the most painful thing I've ever done. I held her in the nursery against all of the nurses' advice, and it broke me. He said, "I'm scared. I'm absolutely full of guilt, but I'm very glad that she's well and she actually wants to have anything to do with me."
Oh my God. I'm happy to know, but it hurts.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Well, she still has a family just like you that she was raised with, and
Yeah.
we can reach out to them because I'm sure they miss her, and you're an extension of her. A very beautiful, wonderful extension of her. So.
Yeah, and I've got this information now. I'm sure I can find them fairly easily. I am pretty good.
You are. You're a god. Ooh, crazy emotional roller coaster, man. Ooh.
I like to think of the search angels and the approach that we have being a roller coaster and not a cliff. We can help be those safety restraints. We can help be the guardrails on the roller coaster to help get them through this. You can get to a place back to the smooth bumps and the normal bumps of life, but being able to be there and support her and help her through that, that's the benefit of having a search angel.
When Bethany was pregnant with me, her and David were staying in Treasure Island. Bethany, her presence is there. It all feels like I could just imagine what they were going through, and I feel for them, knowing that they were making the decision whether or not to put me up for adoption.
Holding my head again, making my way through crowded thoughts. Sometimes it's hard.
I was walking the beach and I was getting chills up and down my arms, emotional, overwhelmed, but it was beautiful.
In the dark, I was just trying to feel something, falling asleep to the sound of it. Remind me no one's got me like myself. Yeah, I love me without any help. I'm the best thing to believe in. So I'm bringing out the fight, yeah, bring on all the lightning. 'Cause I'm looking for a hero, look inside the mirror. I found one, oh, carry the hurt when it gets too hard. Pick it up, dust it off, when I fall down 11, I get up 12, don't need nobody else. Yeah, I can save myself,
Even Meagan and Troy, to me, they're family. They're teaching me how to learn to love all these new people and let them in. I mean, they've been so sweet. I can't thank them enough.
But I got a million reasons why I won't. 'Cause this heavy is a season, and the sun is always right behind the storm. Bringing out the fight, yeah, bringing all the lightning. 'Cause I'm looking for a hero, look inside the mirror. I found one, oh, carry the hurt when it gets too hard. Pick it up, dust it off, when I fall down 11, I get up 12, don't need nobody else. Yeah, I can save myself.
It is so amazing to be here with you. I'm really curious, what is it like going from an only child to this just explosion of family and connections? Like, how have you dealt with that, and what's it felt like?
Kind of feels like an identity crisis, but a good one. Because there's so much you have to process. With my siblings, it was how do I communicate to them? Because, to them it's natural. To me, I'm like, I can't mess this up. Like, I'm like, the connections of, I've had cousins really close to me my entire life, but I feel like there's a different bond with this that I want to make sure that I open and can be there for them as they grow up. And with everybody else, it was like aunts and uncles and whoa.
It's crazy because, you see Bethany, and I can definitely see you in both, but then probably for somebody that just knew her, to look at you and go, oh, wow, it just brings, especially with her being gone, it just brings so much back. Bethany has kind of been special to me because she was born the same year as me, and I always thought of you as like one of my kids, and I always kind of related to them. And so I always would put myself in Bethany's position. And once she was, deceased, it kind of made sense. So I really think she was present. And David looks like a lot of my cousins, and my cousin Jared's handwriting is exactly the same. I think we're related somewhere. So, he's just looks too familiar to me, but I just kind of always felt connected to them for some reason.
I think David at one point described her as fire. He was like, oh, she was fire. And I just see that in you, and I love that about you since our first emails.
This story has brought generational healing for a lot of people, and
That's an awesome way to describe it.
It is.
You guys opened up an entire world for me that I think I genuinely needed. And as you said, it's very, to me, you're like parents. Like I can come to you and you're like, I got you. Like this is everything. And not only was it answers, it was relief. And it kind of felt like now I can treasure her in the way that she is. There's a lot of pain, so much pain that you have to face on and process. But in the end, I think you become a bigger person because of it. You flourish,
As I meet Emily and I see the connections that she's made, I see the love multiplying. I feel the love that Megan and I have for her. I see the love from her parents, her adoptive parents grow. I see the love of her birth father and his family accepting her in. I just know that it's true. Love multiplies, it doesn't divide.
Hi, kiddo.
Hi! Here's Meagan and Troy.
Hey, nice to finally meet you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, it's great to meet you as well. Thanks for jumping on the call.
Yeah, definitely.
I would love to hear what went through your mind when that text came in, right? The first thing you saw was the text from Megan, right?
I think the first words out of my mouth was, "Is she okay?"
Yeah. Did you have the shock? I had the shock.
It was shock, but it was just pure joy. Like, we waited a lot of years.
Yeah.
And it's hard to remember things. But I remember holding her as a baby, and then holding her again as an adult. And it was a lot. Because I was scared, there was going to be resentment on her end, especially as dad kids later.
Not at all. And I love you so much. I'm telling you, there is no hate in the world. It's all love.
And the way it worked out, I couldn't ask for more.
I think Megan and I are just grateful just to see the love that you expressed and how your family has just brought her in. It's
this whole time, before that day, you never stop thinking about that person. And I never stopped thinking about her, so it was easy.
Yeah.
It's always I feel like an adoptee, they always think it's what did they think about me on that day? Or but hearing that is the most reassuring thing ever.
This whole thing's out of a storybook. It's just the story's not over. It's just getting better and better and better every day. And there's no end. There's no end. So.
Nope, it keeps going.
That's the best gift anybody can ever get.
What do you hope for Emily? What do you hope for her future?
She's chasing her dreams. She's going to school. Everything she wants. I know she'll get it. She's that type of person. And she's just so sweet and so kind. And like, nothing she could do would ever disappoint me.
We'll remember that.
We've got you on record.
Just to watch her dreams come true is going to be great. And to be able to see that and be a part of it and just like...
One thing I would say, in this work and helping people and helping adoptees find their birth families, you have these acts of love, these acts where it's like there's no way to repay, to show what it means to help them find their birth parents. There's no way to repay that. But to me, David, it started with you and with your love for her to give her, a better life than you could offer. And I think of, her adoptive parents. I'm an adoptive parent myself, and to think of, how selfless and the courage it took, and the love. It was an act of love when you did that, and it started this whole process. So I hope you see, that first act of love as one of the pillars of this whole experience. So I just want to say, man, I love you, and thank you for that, and thank you for her, thank you for all of this, because that act of love.
Definitely. And also, I love her adoptive parents. Like, they did such a great job. They're such good people.
They are.
She gets a lot of that from them. And it's just like, I can never repay them either. So I owe all of you.
You owe us nothing.
Yeah, I owe everybody.
Yeah.
And I owe her the most. So, couldn't ask for anything better. Love you, kiddo.
Love you too, and thank you so much.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
How do I turn this off? Bye, everybody.
Bye. I feel that identity crisis I was talking about is actually kind of fulfilled. I know where I came from. I know the medical history. I'm learning all these stories, and I feel like not only did I build a lot of myself back up and these new things I know, but it's still a work in progress, but I'm excited for it because now that I have all the pieces, I'm putting it together.
As you come to light, I come alive. Your silhouette in the summer sky. But this is only a measure. It can only get better. It can only get better. Oh, this is only a measure. It can only get better. It can only get better.
I don't think a day goes by that I don't think about, who's searching today. How many Emilys, how many people are out there searching every day that need help, and seeing the pictures of people reuniting and meeting for the first time. Like, it never gets old.
I don't have an end goal. It's I don't ever want it to go away. I don't ever want this to stop. I want to help everybody that needs me.
Each of us has about 4 trillion cells in our body, and each one of those cells has a map to who we are. And I really believe that genetics and DNA testing, I feel like we're in the infancy. We're only starting to learn what that map and what that code holds. So I know the future will hold an opportunity to continue this journey of connecting the human family, one family at a time.
I definitely feel closer to Meagan and Troy after this. I mean, going over the case feels like I finally processed those emotions. You would think that there's an ending, but there never really is. There's always something continuing on, whether it's a new DNA match or a name or a friend of the person that you met. It continues on. And when having people like Meagan and Troy by your side, it's a whole journey, and it's wonderful.
It can only get better. It can only get better. And this is only a measure. It can only get better. It can only get better. This is